I have this mounted in here.
What?
Oh my goodness, another one of those ducks. Yeah, my son hid about 50 little ducks in here last month. They were still finding them.
What goes into crafting the instruments that fill our world with music?
And you covered the holes, man. You did. You got the low G there as well.
Welcome to The Instrument Makers, a new YouTube series where we visit diverse instrument workshops,
Oh, this blade's not very sharp. That's very annoying.
explore the artistry and techniques of master craftsmen,
I'm going to credit this as David's upgrade.
and share the fascinating stories and insights we discover along the way.
We'll try it.
Today's episode is a really special one for me because the instrument you're about to see is the whole reason I even started The Instrument Makers. Quick backstory. I'm a musician with a bit of a weakness for collecting instruments. Back in 2022, I stumbled across a YouTube video by Doug Nadel, where he was building this unique little mini-harpsichord called the Ottavino Spnet. I was immediately fascinated, and for the first time ever, instead of buying a mass-produced instrument from a shop, I reached out directly to the maker himself. After I received it and I saw the craftsmanship up close, it hit me. Every instrument we play has a story behind it, and behind that story is an artisan who poured hours of skill and artistry into making it. That realization is what sparked the idea for this whole channel. So here we are on a road trip to Philadelphia with my good friend and fellow musician-composer, Evan Anderson. We're visiting Doug in his workshop to hear his story, see his instruments, and of course play some music. If you're interested in the craft behind these instruments, check out the build videos on his YouTube channel. And before we dive in, a quick reminder. If you'd like to support this channel, you can visit my website or my Ko-fi page, where you'll find ways to contribute, pick up some merch, and even buy an instrument. Alright, let's get started! Hello!
Hey.
How are you doing?
Nice to meet you finally. My name is Doug Nadel. I live here in the Philadelphia suburbs. Been here for about 27 years. I'm an ear, nose, and throat doctor up in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. And so as a hobby, I do a lot of woodworking. And at some point, I started making some musical instruments, and now here you are. Yeah, I play bass guitar, so I don't even really play keyboards,
Oh, wow.
to tell you the truth, as you can probably tell in my videos when I try to make them sound good. I'm really grateful for your video where you really make it sing. Because other than that, you know, people look at these little Ottavini and say, wow, they don't really sound that good, but you sure make it sound good.
I appreciate it. I assume even though you don't play, you still like listening to music and you enjoy music still.
Yeah, I've always loved music.
Ooh, I forgot how this goes. Do you know who wrote this?
No.
This is a Billy Joel tune.
What?
Yeah.
The virginal actually has two soundboards. There's two bridges, and the left and the right side vibrate separately.
Oh, wow, yes.
So there's this bridge and there's another bridge over here.
Why does it have two bridges?
It's got two soundboards, so
okay.
This part vibrates and this part vibrates. The register where the jacks come through, it's fixed.
And that's what makes it so resonant.
Might be, yeah. This all got started maybe 20 years ago when I read an article on somebody from Seattle who built harpsichords. But I thought, wow, that's a really outrageous project. I wonder if I could do that. And so I started looking around, and I found a company in Massachusetts that sells kits for making your own harpsichord. And that looked interesting, but I didn't really want to make a kit. I wanted to custom build it. So I convinced them to sell me their plans, and I bought their plans and tried to sort of reverse engineer it. I ended up building my first musical instrument, which was a full-sized virginal harpsichord.
Did you have any interest in harpsichords beforehand?
No, actually. I just saw it in the magazine. I thought it was an outrageous project. Yeah, well, I now understand why people use a dark wood for the fretboard. The finger oils sort of stain it a little.
Ah, yeah.
Look at the back of that one, has a really nice book-matched walnut.
Oh, yeah, right down the middle there.
Yeah, I had been woodworking for maybe 10 years at that time. I started out making picture frames, bookcases. I do a lot of this stuff I call Tramp Art, which I can show you later. I made a big secretary desk for my wife. I like the variety of woodworking. You know, it's really no limit on the kind of things you can make. I've made tables. I've never made a chair. A chair might be on the list of something to make in the future. But after I made that full-size harpsichord, I then made some ukuleles. I built 3 tenor ukuleles and 4 soprano ukuleles.
Did he sell them?
No, I gave them away.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
The tenor uke I keep and I play a little bit. The soprano ukes are harder to play. They're much smaller, but they make nice gifts for some kids. So after the ukuleles, I was in Florence at the Academy Gallery I forget what it's called. I'll look it up for you. Gallery d'Accademia,
yes.
Where they have the statue of David. And so they have a museum of musical instruments. So in their museum, I saw a pair of ornate hurdy-gurdys from the 16th century. And I looked at them and I said, wow, maybe I could make a hurdy-gurdy. So that was the next thing I made. It's not as ornate as those, but I found some plans online that were pretty easy to find. And I built a hurdy-gurdy, but it sounds pretty awful, to tell you the truth.
Hurdy-gurdies are very difficult to make sound good. You have to just get the tension right and the cotton strings to catch the wheel just right. This wheel was the most difficult thing to put on. All these fine moving parts. It was so confusing. It was so difficult, but I got it going. Look at that, look at the last part. I have to put on the strings. Also very difficult. We'll see how it goes, yeah. I finished. It sounds like death. It sounds terrible. Sounds like a vacuum cleaner.
Oh man, that's fun. That's as good as it gets, I think.
Yeah, but it's a gorgeous sound that you've managed to make here.
For the soundboard, I have some leftover Port Orford cedar from my harpsichord. We're getting close to the end here. On the top, I applied a dye followed by a gel stain. The crank to turn the wheel is cut from soft brass that can be cut on the scroll saw with a metal cutting blade. And here's the wheel in action.
That's the best I got. Do you want to try it, Evan?
Yes, I have no idea how to play it, but...
So I made a miniature virginal Ottavino where the strings run horizontally. I made one of those and I sold that. And then after that, I made 3 of these, which are Spinets.
Yes.
And the Spinet, the strings run at an angle.
Yeah.
So it has a triangular case. There are no plans for this. So
you just made it up.
Well, yeah. So when I made the Ottavino Virginal, I looked around and there weren't any plans. You can't just shrink down a regular harpsichord because then the keys would be too small to play.
Yeah.
So these are really hard to play because of the scale.
Yeah.
You know, the keyboard has to be the same size, but everything else is about a quarter the size of a regular instrument. And so you have to sort of make compromises and fool around with it a little bit. But for my Ottavino Virginal, I looked around and I found that there is a national music museum in South Dakota somewhere. And they have an old Ottavino Virginal from the 1600s by this maker named Vaninus, and they have an excellent set of photographs on their website of the inside, the outside, the top view, all the different views of this instrument. And so I took those images to Kinko's and had them printed out in the scale I wanted, and then I was able to sort of reverse engineer it to get a keyboard to fit in. Well, every step of the way. I mean, probably making the keyboard, like I was telling you before, is probably the hardest part. Otherwise, it's put together with techniques I've done before. This is scroll saw work. I've done a lot of work with the scroll saw before.
Yeah.
One of the big challenges in this piece is the marquetry, the design of the veneers that are on top. And so that was a big challenge too.
Yeah.
In fact, I have separate videos on how to do the marquetry technique. For this particular project, my goal more was, and my impetus was more the visual art of it. That's an added bonus that you can play it.
So I assume it sounds like you do a lot of research before you build these instruments, or you have to do it. Do you enjoy the research process?
Yeah, absolutely. It's fun, and it's a lot of trial and error too. You got to see what works, and hopefully you don't end up wasting too much time and effort when you make a mistake.
Yes.
Yeah, on one of these, when I made the keyboard, I wasted about 2 months making the keyboard the wrong way.
Oh my goodness!
I figured out a better way to do it.
What was going wrong with it?
So you can't see it now because it's on the inside, but on the backs of these keys, there's a little pin that rides up and down in a slot in the rack.
Yeah.
And if you take off this name batten board, you can see it inside there. And so you have to try to line it up. It's like a 3D puzzle. These keys have to be all at the same height. They have to be spaced equally, and they have to ride in the pin perfectly. And they got to rock back and forth just right too. So it's a whole 3D puzzle. There's a little problem here though with the sharps. They contact the front of the balance rail, making a clacking noise. So before gluing on the tops, I'll notch out a recess on the key's bottom and line it with felt. Well, you can play it. But I wanted to have a disclaimer that this really isn't a serious instrument. For most people, you obviously have made it one.
All right, but it very much looks like a serious instrument in itself, too.
I mean, the goal was to make a work of art, something to be a conversation piece that you could fiddle around with. I don't have any musical instruments on the horizon, but I think I'm going to get back to making this tramp art that I like.
Okay.
I have some examples of it here. So, tramp art involves carving these notches and layers of wood and then building them up like this. I made this box. I can show you some other examples. Here's a tissue box I made in 2 different colors. This is rosewood and maple. And so this tramp art was traditionally made by tramps and hobos who would dumpster dive and find cigar box wood, which was free, and carve these notches into it. I tried doing that, and then I quickly realized that these tramps and hobos have a lot more free time than I do. So I figured there had to be a better way, and I developed a way to do this on the router table. The sandpaper is easy. You just take a folded piece of paper like this.
Oh, I see.
Just a couple swipes like that to true it up.
Okay.
And so do that all the way around, and then the next piece of wood is a little bit smaller, make notches on that, and then when you put them together, you get a nice little pyramid with all the notches lining up.
Okay.
So I wrote a book on how to do this on the router table, and I want to put together some videos. Hopefully I'll get them done soon, but this is available on Amazon.
Okay.
The bottom half took me about a year.
Yeah.
The top half took me about 6 months.
Wow.
So the bottom opens up like this. Pull out these little supports.
Oh.
And this comes down like that.
I know a lot of these secretaries have secret compartments.
Yeah. This one has 13 secret compartments.
Secrets, 13?
Yeah.
13 secret compartments.
I'll show some of them. Some of them are pretty simple. Like if you pull out some of these drawers, there's a little hidden compartment back here. And I don't know what's in here.
A secret.
A little note from Charlie when he was little. There's a space inside the drawer front here, and so I have this mounted in here.
What?
Oh my goodness, another one of those ducks. So there's a tiny little hole here. When you put a paper clip in there, it releases a spring catch. And this comes out.
Whoa.
These are actually, I think, the plans for the desk.
Oh my goodness.
This is that 90-year-old guy I was telling you about, Al Hudson. That's his desk that I based this off of. Do you see a hole down here?
I see something on the left, but is that different?
No, I think it's in the middle.
Oh, I see a hole right there.
It shouldn't be that far back. Really? Here, see if you can get it.
Yeah, it's going down. Is it not?
Oh yeah, you got it. It is really far back there. And then there's 3 more drawers back there.
Whoa. Wow, look at that. That's so fun.
Wow, nice. Was that original too?
That was just improvising.
Oh, nice. Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Wow, that was great.
My visit to Doug's workshop was memorable. He set out as a woodworker to create something both challenging and beautiful. And while his spinet wasn't originally meant to be a serious instrument, what he ended up building is one that sings with remarkable character and warmth. What began as a piece of visual art became an instrument in every sense of the word. And the generosity in which he shares his craft is inspiring. I can't wait to keep making music on his spinet for years to come. A huge thank you to Evan for joining me on this trip, and of course to Doug for opening up his workshop and sharing his story. If you'd like to reach out to him, his contact information is in the description. Both his harpsichord and Ottavino Spnet are available for sale. He's also open for any other types of challenging instrument commissions. And he's also generously offering plans if you want to try building your own spinet. Episodes like this remind me why I started this channel in the first place. To celebrate the artistry, the stories, and the people behind the instruments you play. Every one of these makers put a piece of themselves into their craft. And when we play and appreciate their instruments, we carry that story forward. If you'd like to support this journey and meet more makers with me, please consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.